Hello and welcome to Tech Deals Game Performance Review Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. We're playing Call of Duty today on the Acer Aspire E15 15.6-inch Full HD laptop computer. I've previously reviewed this computer. A link to that review will be in the video description below, but in short, for $550, this is an amazing deal. I love this laptop. Intel Core i5-6200U, 6th generation, 2 cores, 4 threads, up to 2.8 GHz. It's a great CPU at this price point. 16 gigabytes of RAM and NVIDIA's GT 940MX dedicated gaming graphics card with 2 gigabytes of VRAM. We are playing today at 720p resolution with the texture detail set to low. Anti-aliasing and VSync are both turned off. Now, why are we at 720p when this is a 1080p laptop? Quite simply, the 940MX graphics chip does not have the performance to allow you to play a game like Call of Duty Infinite Warfare at 1080p. It just doesn't have the horsepower. I'll mention in a minute what you can do to change that, but for the moment we're at 720p. Low detail because we have 2 gigabytes of VRAM on our card. To run it high, you have to have 4. And then, of course, AA is a performance issue, and VSync gives us the most performance we can get. Fraps was used to record the minimum, maximum, and average game performance numbers that you will see later in the video, but was not used to record the video you're watching. Instead, I used an HD 60 Pro hardware capture card. This is an external card located on another computer that's actually recording this. No performance was lost recording the video that you're watching. However, the numbers you will see at the end of this video are from the gameplay that you are actually watching right now. The numbers in red at the top left of the screen are from MSI Afterburner. This program from MSI lets me put up good information that lets me know what's going on with the game, and so you have an idea of what is the performance limitation, where is there extra room available, what can you do to make this game run better. If you look in the top left-hand corner, you'll see there's 5 lines. The first one, GPU 1, this is the actual graphics chip, the 940MX graphics chip itself. The 99% indicates we are using all the available power from this graphics chip. That's our primary limitation, is the graphics chip on this laptop is running its task to capacity. The temperature is 64 degrees, which is well within limits, and it's running at 862 megahertz. The next line, memory 1, this is the memory on the graphics chip, not your main system RAM. It is running at 2.5 gigahertz, and since it's DDR memory, it's actually running at 5. Not that that matters, but that's what that means. And we are using 1.8, just over almost 1.9 gigabytes of video RAM. This graphics chip has 2 gigabytes of dedicated VRAM on it. This is why we have to run in low texture detail. High would be completely unplayable. It doesn't have the VRAM. If you have 4 gigabytes of VRAM on your video card, you can run it high, although not on this one because it doesn't have the performance for it. But if you want to run this game on high, you need a 4 gigabyte card. Now the CPU usage, that is our actual Intel chip, the Intel i5-6200. It is bouncing between 40 and 50%. At the moment it's 35, well now it's at 50%. It's a 2-core, 4-thread processor. What does that mean? That means it has 2 actual execution units. It can actually do 2 things at once, but it can schedule 4. And what this means is that it smooths out your gameplay a bit. It tells Windows in your game that you have a quad-core chip, even though it really isn't. Anytime you're using more than 50% of your CPU on a chip with virtual cores, you're actually using more than the chip really has, and you're into the virtual cores, as you are right there at that explosion. That the door opened and the grenade went off. See, there we are at 90%, 84%. All the effects on the screen are really straining the CPU. The CPU itself is at 74 degrees Celsius. Our system RAM is currently just under 6.2 gigabytes. Now this computer comes by default with 8 gigabytes of RAM. I have upgraded it to 16. Can you play this game perfectly well with 8 gigabytes of RAM? Yes. So long as you make sure you have nothing running in the background. You're not running any web browsers, you're not watching a movie, Netflix, or YouTube on another monitor, you don't have a bunch of things running in the task tray, a bunch of programs open. Yeah, this game will run in 8 gigabytes of RAM. The benefit to 16 is Windows will use that extra memory to smooth out the overall performance of the computer. it uses it as a drive cache, and it basically uses it to store information that the game loads. So if you have to reload a level or play something over again, or just as you're transitioning, it just helps it preload information, and it just smooths the experience out a little bit. The final line is DirectX 11. We're currently running in that, and we're just about 60 frames per second at the moment, dropped down to 54. This is a real-time indicator of the frame rate that we are getting. Anything over 60 frames per second on this laptop is wasted because the screen only refreshes 60 times a second. It's what's called a 60 hertz screen. Anything below 60 and you're missing frames. Ideally, we would have a smooth 60 frames per second, but again, this is a budget laptop. It's not really meant to be a dedicated gaming laptop. That's the primary limitation. However, if you've only got about $500 and you want to play games like this, yes, it does play. Granted, it's at 720p. Yes, it's at low detail. No, it will not hold 60 frames a second, but having played through this introductory level, it was completely playable. Now, I've played this level on high-end machines, on my i7 4790K with a GTX 1070. That's an expensive computer. Yes, it plays great at 1440p on that computer at over 60 frames a second at high detail. But it costs more than 3 times as much as this laptop did, and it's not at all portable. So for a inexpensive $500-ish laptop, this is a pretty good deal. Would I personally want to play it on this? Not really, especially once you've seen better. My recommendation, if you've got a little extra money, is the Dell Inspiron 15.6-inch i7-559 laptop. What is that? It's an $800 laptop that's really meant to be a gaming laptop. I have reviewed it on my channel before. A link to that will be in the video description below, so go check that out. A link to both my video review on it and a link to Amazon and Newegg where you can go check it out. It's about $800 or $250 more than the laptop you're currently watching this game being played on. What do you get for the $250? In short, you get 2 main things. A true quad-core chip. Instead of being 2 cores and 2 virtual cores, it's 4 real cores, so it's double the execution resources. The other big thing you get is a NVIDIA GTX 960M graphics card with 4 gigs of VRAM. What does that mean? It's double the performance of the graphics chip that you're currently watching. If you look in the upper left-hand corner, you will notice that the GPU 1 basically never moves from 99%. The 940MX is the limitation here. That's the problem. You could either play this game on high detail at over 60 frames a second at 720p on that Dell, or at 1080p, maybe medium detail at an average of 60 frames a second. I haven't actually tested this game yet. I filmed this and I'm recording this before I did it, but given that it has double the graphics performance, you should be able to turn the details up nicely while still having very playable performance. Now, there are faster laptops. In the $1,400 to $1,600 range, there are definitely faster laptops that are much quicker, but again, that's a complete 3 times the price of this thing. That's where this laptop is so interesting. It's a deal because of what you get for the money. What else do you get for the money? You know, I didn't mention a lot of the features early, and you really should watch my review of this laptop if you're interested, but not only do you get a full HD 1080p screen, which is really nice when you're running Windows, web browsers, watching YouTube, for example, a video such as this, it comes with a 256GB solid-state drive, so wicked fast boot performance, really fast program load performance, and an open 2.5-inch drive bay to add either a hard drive or an SSD to expand the storage in the laptop without having to remove the existing solid-state drive. It's really nice. There is a video. If you go check out my review of this laptop, there are links in its video description showing you, for example, how to install additional RAM, how to add a hard drive, and do a variety of other things to this machine. I've done a bunch of videos on it. It is a great, great laptop computer. The $800 Dell, 15-inch screen, full HD 1080p, 256 gig solid state drive. It comes with 8 gigs of RAM just like this does. Really, the main 2 differences are the CPU is a quad core and the graphics chip is double the performance. So if you really want to play games, buy that one if you've got the money, but if you don't, it's okay. This is still an amazing experience. Considering what it is, it's not that bad. It's very controllable. It responds to keyboard and mouse input really, really well. This battle here is almost over. This big, huge robot just... That's kind of scary, actually. I gotta run in here and be sure to pick up the additional ammo to use this funny-looking weapon and blast it. What's interesting is I've filmed this first level here several times now. I filmed it on the RX 460. I filmed it on the 1050 and 1050 Ti desktop cards. And I filmed it on a 1060. I haven't actually played, I haven't had time. I've been so busy with work and videos and everything. I haven't played the game past this, so hopefully this weekend or next I get a chance to do that. But, oh, there's the timer counting running down. Now that the robot's destroyed, that thing comes forward. One of Call of Duty's famous scripted sequences where basically at some point it decides to advance the plot line and tell you, sorry, you've had enough fun here, we're making it go. There was like a, I don't know, it's supposed to be a countdown for the detonation, and of course they don't run a clock because they actually give you unlimited time until this happens. Slap the button, super mega weapon, and boom. The only downside to shooting those robots is, oops, that's not good. Houston, we have a problem. Houston, we have a problem. Oh, awesome. I caught on against all that wind and debris, and oh no. Let's go look at the results, shall we? And here we are at the results. 47 frames per second average, minimum of 28, max of 94. Again, this is at 720p, low detail. Basically, most of the stuff is turned down as far as it can go. It's not ideal performance, but it was very, very playable. Would I want to do that again? No, because I have better computers. But if you don't, and I understand that, I remember a time in my life when I didn't. If you don't have anything better than this, yes, you can play Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. Yes, it's controllable. And yes, frankly, it's the same game no matter what you have the detail setting to. So, I don't give it 2 thumbs up, but I'll give it 1 thumb up for giving it a playable performance on a very basic, inexpensive, entry-level laptop computer. Again, check out my links in the video description below for the review of this and for the review of the Dell $800 laptop, because if you do have an extra $250, you'll get a much better experience on that machine than you did on this one. Like the video if you like it. Don't if you don't. Remember to subscribe to my channel with the big, huge red button right below the video. Updates, unboxings, hardware guides, game performance videos, hardware reviews, and all other sorts of cool stuff. You can leave your questions and comments in the comments box below. And as always, use the links in my video description. They go to Amazon, Newegg, and eBay. And I will be eternally grateful and be back with many more videos for you in the future. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.